Hi, I'm out on my walk again, and I'm just so high on life right now. Like, feeling so good, so wonderful, and nothing else matters. And how I got there was, I was actually cleaning out some clutter in my house, in my closet, and I decided I have an hour. I'm gonna go for a walk and just shake off all the energy I was just going through, including stuff that was in my closet I haven't seen in ages. Anyway, so I came out here to this beautiful place again, and I totally just started dancing my ass off. Didn't care who saw. Jumping up on fallen trees, dancing up there like I was queen of the world, jumping off the tree like I'm footloose. So I felt like I was in the Footloose movie, and all like the dance moves and the spinning and just feeling so good and so high on the vibration, dancing with the trees. And it was just a good way to release. So finding your vice to release. For me, that was dancing and shaking it off and not giving a fuck what anybody else thought. I did not care. And sweating like crazy. And it didn't matter. It felt so good. And that all those problems and all those worries just started to fall away. And all the stuff I've been working on just became clearer. And I'm walking through, I don't know if you can see back here, but there's a trail. And I decided to take this trail to come out to the water instead of going around that way and back. And usually I don't go this way anymore because it's really narrow and there's twigs and stuff that are like sticking out in bushes. And I'm scared of ticks. Like, I don't like ticks and I don't like bugs. So I usually don't go that way because of my fear. So the point of that is like, screw the fear, push through the fear. I will be guided to where I need to go and how I need to get there. And if I pick up something along the way, I can fix it. Like, I can make it better. I can work with it when it happens. So if I get a tick on me, then I just work with it when it happens. Get it off me. And stop living in that fear state. And that fear state that holds me back from doing something that's enjoyable. And it was just empowering and liberating and everything else. Stop, sorry. This continuation. I walked past a couple up on the hill, and you could totally tell they were on a date, and it was a picnic date, and she had the blanket around her, and he was carrying the bag, and he's all dressed up. And it was, and normally lately I've been feeling like very like, I don't know, like, oh, I want that. You know, like we do that. Like we see something that we want, and we go, oh, I want that. So instead of being happy for them, you get that, oh, I wish I could have that. You know, and so this time for me, it was so liberating because as I was walking past them, I just had this big grin on my face and so much love and so much joy and so much happiness for her. She just seemed so happy. He seemed so nervous, but she seemed so happy. And I was just so happy for them and happy that they had those moments that they could do that together, whether it's new or not. It looks fairly new, but that's just my opinion from what I saw and the feelings I got from the looks anyway. And so it was just so much freedom to know that I can let that go. And that doesn't matter to me right now. None of that matters to me right now. What matters to me right now is me getting right with me and me loving me for me and me working damn hard to continue to build that strength within me and remove all those character defects. So that way when I do find a relationship that's going to work for me, that I'm fully capable and ready and able to give it all, you know, and still maintain and not do my normal prior character defects where I fall in too fast and I skip parts and, you know, instead of just enjoying it, and learn to be patient with the process. Like they say, progress, not perfection. And so I've just been enlightened lately and realized that how much work I need to do, but how much I'm learning. And just by reading and talking, you know, and I do Nar-Anon, which is Narcotics Anonymous, people who are affected by people who have used drugs. And I also do Al-Anon, which is for people who are affected by alcoholics. And so I'm doing those steps, and that works for me, and I'm really getting into it, and I'm really learning a lot. And the first step is that I'm powerless, that my life has become unmanageable, and I'm powerless over, I have no control over anybody but myself. So all I gotta do is work on me and give myself breaks. Give myself breaks from the deep down, digging deep and emotional mess that I create, because I'm a very emotional person and I have a hard time controlling my emotions. And I am accepting that because that's where I'm at right now. But I am going to work on that. But I am accepting that that is who I am at this moment in time. And that I can love myself and forgive myself for it and continue to work every day to get to where I need to be. And just have fun. You know, after you're done working, you know, as hard as you need to work on for that little bit of time that you're putting in for yourself that you deserve, just give yourself that time, that space to have fun and just feel so good. Like, this is just an amazing feeling. Like, I can't even describe to you. And it doesn't even have to be what I'm doing right now. It could be something that you enjoy doing. It could be skating. Hell, I love to skate, or, you know, skating or fishing or anything where you feel free and free of the burdens and able to shake and release it all off. So with that, I'm going to turn my music back on. I would have played my music and did the whole dance for you because it was amazing. It felt amazing. But I think there's copyright things with playing music in the background, so I didn't want to go into all that. So for now, I'm going to walk by this beautiful water. And speaking of water, this reminds me of a story real quick. Okay, so with not being able to control anybody else, you have to learn. They say stay on your side of the street. Clean your side of the street, they clean their side of the street, and you don't go onto their side and they'll go onto yours. For me, I didn't like the analogy. It didn't sit well with me. And the one that really came to me when I was in my thoughts with my higher power and journaling, I do a lot of journaling. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I was dancing my butt off for like the last half hour. And I heard something in the bush, probably a rabbit, hopefully. I'm gonna walk this way. And so basically I was thinking, what else could I use as an analogy to help my brain? Because sometimes you have to come up with your own analogies. Other people's analogies don't work for you. So I love water. But water is also scary, can be scary too. And I consider water as like emotions, but it also can be calming and soothing and scary at the same time. So it's got its balance. So I said, when you're in a relationship or whatever it may be that you're trying to separate yourself from, or person, doesn't even have to be like your significant other, just somebody, anybody. So you have to stay in your own boat. Think of a kayak. So you stay in your own boat and they're in their own boat. So you have the freedom to go alongside each other. You have the freedom to go out away from each other, to come back to each other. And when your water is more turbulent, like, you know, and out of control and unmanageable, whatever, I look at that as my emotions are out of control. I can be in my own boat controlling that. And they're in their own boat over here controlling their stuff, whether they're calm or whatever. And so I can go and do my thing over here. And then when I'm ready, I can come back and spend some time together next to each other, not in the boat with them. And I have a great example as to how it doesn't work when you're in the same boat. And I actually was sharing at a meeting, and this actually came to me from my higher power, not from me. Like it was in my thoughts, but I totally just realized it as epiphany as I was talking. That's why it helps us sometimes talk, get things out. So when I had got on my honeymoon with my husband, he and I got in a kayak together, and the person in back has to steer the kayak, and the person in front has to row and get it going forward. So I was in the front, he was in the back. Well, we did not work well together at all whatsoever. We were terrible in the boat together, awful, like so bad that we were doing this across the whole river. No joke. I'm not even kidding. I was exhausted. And I was getting frustrated. And he wasn't steering right. And I wasn't doing it right. And I wasn't listening. And he wasn't listening. And we were just blah, blah. So the instructor that was on the side over here with us, he offered for me to get into his boat with him. Now I wanted to. I didn't know how we were going to do it in the middle of the river, but I wanted to, and I would have attempted to do it. But Zach really didn't want to do that. My husband didn't want to do that. And so I was like, okay, no, I'll just stay here. So I stayed in there. But guess what happened? So as we're going along, we both were doing the stupid thing across the river again, and we T-boned another kayak. And it was another couple. And what happens is when you do that, you both lean the opposite way to try and get thinking the boat's gonna move out of the way and not run into them, but we already hit them. So we both leaned to the left. Well, when that happened, the kayak flipped over and dropped us into the water. And when it dropped us into the water, it actually hit me on my head. I don't remember where, I just remember it hit me on the head and it was hard. And then I got stuck underneath the boat. I could not find my way to the surface for the life of me. Literally the life of me. I was looking for that pocket, where the seat is, trying to get my head. I knew I was under the boat. I couldn't see, it was dark. And I was trying to find the pocket. I couldn't find the pocket. And I get a little choked up because it was a scary thing. I thought for sure I was going to drown and I was going to die. And just as I was thinking I was about to give up because I didn't know how much longer I could hold my breath. I felt like I was under there for a while. I honestly don't know how long. I felt something grab me because I had a life vest on. I felt something grab me, pull me down, and pull me out and up. Because my life vest had me up under the kayak, and so he had to pull me down and pull me out and up back to the surface. And he said I gasped just this giant air, and then I hugged him. Honestly, I think I just remember the gasp. I don't remember the other parts. I was just traumatized. And I had a massive headache from being bonked on the head with a kayak. And so my husband saved my life. But with that story, what the story meant, even though it happened, it plays a role in my life now with my analogy. I can't get in the boat with somebody else. I have to be in my own boat, controlling my own feelings and my own emotions and my own shit. If I get into the other boat, then that makes life unmanageable and I could lose my life. And you can look at that however you want, lose your life emotionally or whatever it may be, but I could lose my life. And in order to get out of that situation, because there's some times where you're going to get back in that boat with that person, is my higher power can help save me out of that boat. Pull me down, pull me out, and pull me back up. And I have to trust that my higher power's got my back, and that I'm going to listen, and I'm going to be aware of my actions so I can take the actions that I need to take in order to stay in my own boat, stay in my own lane, not try and control anything else outside of myself. And some days it's hard to even control myself and my emotions. And that's okay, because you know what? It's one day at a time, one step at a time. And like I've been doing these meditations with the hand on the heart. I was doing a journaling and I asked God, I'm like, or higher power, what do you want to call it? I asked God, I'm like, what do I need to do to get myself out of those emotions and stop feeling guilty, stop feeling shameful? I was very negative self-talking the other day. And how I do that, what I felt as I was writing, and I was writing it all out, was put your hands over your heart, get connected to your heart space, take some deep breaths in with your feet flat on the floor. Do that deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth with that ah sound. And then do it 3 times, in through your nose. In through your nose. And I feel like this rush through me. Sometimes I yawn. That's usually a release of energy. And I can get myself back in my heart space and not so much up here. Because when up here, my ego wants to tell me how bad I am, how just all that negative self-talk, that we suck and we can't do it and you're not good enough and they don't like you, or whatever it may be, whatever your negative self-talk is. And get you back out of that and back into your heart space where there's nothing but unconditional love and light. And that's it. So if getting out here and dancing my ass off, and I don't care what anybody else thinks anymore, screw them. I feel good and I don't need something to help me feel good other than this. And when I get this way, just keep doing the breath. If I can't get out in nature, do the breath and just keep doing it for me. Taking the time. It doesn't take that long. And I can take on whatever life throws at me. It doesn't matter how hard it is. I just have to focus through it. And if I can't do it myself, then I pray. Or you can say, talk to yourself, or whatever it is for you. It doesn't really matter. It's just knowing that you're not alone. So anyway, I just had to share that because I feel so good right now. I feel happy with myself. I'm okay right now with my situation, and everything is good in the hood. So anyway, I love you all. I hope you find something in this. I always say, like, I don't care if only one person gets something out of it, even if it's me, then it is all worth it. Because I wasn't even planning on recording a video. So anyway, I love you all. Have a great weekend and do something that makes you feel this good. Serenity and peace at its best. It is totally possible. Bye for now.